Hi students, it is week 6 of ESOL 054. You are more than halfway through this 10-week semester, so good work on that. I will be submitting your midterm progress grades to CCBC by this Friday, so make sure that you are up to date on all assignments, okay? Check out my course announcement, as always, please, to notice the assignments that you have this week. You also have the calendar over here on the right. You'll see that I have included some assignments that are due next week, just to give you a good sense of what is to come. In week 7, I will actually be assigning your assessments for Module 2 in addition to the work you have already been assigned. But this week, you are focusing on a new writer, Ta-Nehisi Coates, and so I'll walk you through that. But each of these assignments are related to that specific author. You have one additional parts of speech assignment to do this week as well to prepare for next week's vocabulary quiz. You are certainly reading Prayers for the Stolen. You know you have your second discussion/project post that's due this week. But let's go to content. Learning modules, Module 2, Week 6. This is what you will find. Here is a picture of the cover of the book, from which you will read an excerpt this week. Okay? Check out the goals for this week. Again, it's all about reading the assigned texts, you reading the assigned texts and showing me your thought process, even if it is not perfect. I want to know what you are thinking. It's much more important to me than what you can find somewhere else in another source or on Google. Don't do that. Share your thoughts with me as you work through these goals, okay? Again, here's your list of assignments, and you know that each of those is found below the checklist. Your Module 2 vocabulary that you will be tested on in week 7 next week is found here with the Quizlet that you can click here to study the words and the parts of speech. I've shown you which words can be found in each of the texts that you are reading in Module 2. So really look to see the way these words are used so you are comfortable using them yourself, okay? After taking a look at vocabulary, you're going to do some background search on Ta-Nehisi Coates like you have done with our previous 2 authors. And again, this is just to help you learn more about the author so you can see why he has written what he has written. Understanding some about his life helps you better understand what you're reading this week, okay? So you have 2 websites here that give some background information about Ta-Nehisi Coates, and you see here, you're just going to paraphrase 5 facts you learn about him that may have influenced what he wrote about, okay? So that it's easier for you to understand this excerpt from Between the World and Me by Coates, which again, it's a letter that he has written to his 15-year-old son to explain what it's like to be an African-American man in the U.S. And this book was not written all that long ago, okay? So that's what that is. You have some vocabulary that's specific to the reading. These should not take you long. A quick worksheet and a quick bright space quiz that you are going to check out. Again, vocabulary is difficult in this reading. There's an additional Quizlet to just help you with some of the harder words I invite you to look at here. Now, this assignment is a big deal. It's an outline on this Coates reading. And again, just to quickly show you between the world and me, you have quick access right here. And I've given you a lot. I've given you the cover of the book jacket, and this will help you perhaps to learn some background information about Ta-Nehisi Coates as well. So this is just for your information. This here is where you start to read the excerpt, the piece from this book that I want you to read. So it's this many pages. Really take your time with it. Take your notes. Notice, there's a lot in here that you've learned about already. See here where it's talking about Jim Crow. And so use your strategies that you already have to understand this very difficult reading. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. It is hard, but by using the strategies we've learned and working with the vocabulary, it will begin to make sense, and it should be really empowering to you. Okay. You'll see that you have an optional assignment here. It does not need to be done. It's extra credit for 20 points after you read this. If you are so inclined to write your own letter to someone to explain a situation that you thought of while you were reading this, that will be your option. So read through the instructions, and that's your choice, but it's not due until November 10th. There is some parts of speech practice for you to do. Here in this module, this is what it looks like. You're working again with parts of speech. Here is an example using the word from Angelou, phenomenon. The adjective form is phenomenal. The adverb form is phenomenally. Diversity is a noun. What is the verb? Diversify. The adjective is diverse. So use parts of the word to create the word form that works for the part of speech. And then you're going to write 10 sentences, your own sentences about you, using any of the words from that chart. Okay? That is due this week. You have a journal where you're going to compare the childhoods of Angelou and Hurston based only on what you read in I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings and How It Feels to Be Colored Me. That is because both of those readings, these authors give us a good understanding of what they were like as children and what their attitudes were, okay? So you'll complete that by November 6th. Here's your prayers for the stolen post that you already know about, and then continue reading, checking out these comprehension questions as you go, so you will be prepared next week for the prayers for the stolen quiz 2. I know it's a lot, everyone, and I know you're working hard. You all are doing very well in this class, and I'm very excited about that. As long as you keep sending me your work with your authentic thoughts, you are going to be fine, okay? Let me know if you have questions. You know how to reach me. Have a great week, everyone.